welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about the 10 things I wish I knew before I studied law. To start, I think I should give a bit of background about my law background and where I studied and everything, because I'm now a law graduate. I studied a 3-year law LLB degree at Lancaster University in Lancaster, England. So I studied in England, though I do live in Ireland currently. Like I mentioned, I went to Lancaster University. Great uni. I really enjoyed my time there. And if you're looking at going to Lancaster or you have any questions about Lancaster, I would love to answer them. So if you have them down below, or if you message me on Instagram, I can make dedicated videos about Lancaster University in particular. And also I have a lot of friends who've gone to a lot of different universities in England, in Ireland, in other different countries. So if you want a video that's more centered on a specific uni, for instance, I'd be more than happy to bring a friend or talk about my own experiences. But yeah, I studied my law degree in the UK at Lancaster University, and there was a lot of things that I didn't know going into my law degree, and a lot of things I wish more people spoke about, or more people there was more content about before I actually went and dove into a law degree. So today my video is just basically talking about those things. I asked a couple of my law student friends too about stuff that they wish they knew, so everything is kind of compiled, and everything I kind of put it into sections and just split it into 10 categories of things. Well, not categories, but 10 things that I wish I knew before I studied law. So okay, the first thing I wish I knew before I studied law was that there are very few contact hours. I don't know if you guys know what contact hours are or not, but contact hours are basically the amount of time that you spend in uni in a lecture or a seminar or a tutorial or whatever it is. Basically, oh, by the way, if I keep looking down, it's because I have notes here. Basically, it's the amount of time you spend in lectures, tutorials, seminars, whatever your layout is. And this will depend on the university, I think, but for my university, Lancaster, the contact hours for law were very, there wasn't that many. We had a 2-hour lecture for our 4 modules every week, and then an extra 1-hour seminar on top of that most weeks. That was the general layout. So that means we only had 8 to 12 contact hours a week. When you think that there's 120-ish hours, I guess, in a school week, we only have 10% of that. And I know that if you have friends that maybe do another subject, I know my friend, she had physics, she was much busier than I was, in terms of going to lectures and labs and things like that. But there's a lot less contact hours for law, which might sound great, oh, I have so much free time during the week because I only have a 2-hour lecture every day. But that means there's just so much more work that you have to do on your own accord, which brings me to my next point. There's lots of independent study necessary for law. Again, it depends on your university and whether you have lots of contact hours or not, but there's lots of independent study. And I feel especially if you're just coming out of secondary school, where you were a little bit spoon-fed, a little bit your hand was kind of held a little bit more. You had a teacher checking on you every day, teachers making you do homework and having it due the next day. Definitely university, and especially studying law, will kind of give you a big wake-up call in that aspect, because you have to do a lot on your own accord, your own research, your own reading, your own case notes, a lot of stuff you have to do on your own, and it can get very overwhelming. And if you don't want to fall behind, you have to constantly be doing stuff to catch up. And I know that might sound scary, but if you do constantly do the work, if you're on one topic and you do the reading and everything for that topic at the time, you won't fall behind, and that makes it easier to kind of do everything. But you just need to be aware that there's a lot you have to do on your own accord. Number 3, this is kind of a funny one. I think maybe I might have been the only one who didn't know this, but the law is way bigger and way broader than just criminal law. I feel the way TV and life portrays law, we kind of see it as criminal law, murderers and burglars and people stealing things and getting put in jail for it, and that is definitely a part of law. We did a lot of that in my criminal module in first year. So yeah, law is way broader than just criminal law. There's land law, public law, EU law if you know you're in the UK and if they still decide to teach it, commercial law, so many different types. There's a lot of different topics, and say if you're someone who wasn't looking towards law in the first place, you might be able to find an area that interests you, because there's just so many different diverse areas of law that you can go into and study. And you should, I think a very important thing when you're looking for a university is to see how many options they have available. But then again, not every option is available every year, but then again, just see what your universities that you're looking at have to offer you. Number 4, this is kind of related to the last point, kind of not, but while you're at university, do topics that interest you. You might have friends that are like, yes, oh, I want to be a big commercial lawyer and work in a magic circle firm and this and that, but you might not want that, and that's okay. And that's why you need to do topics that interest you. You need to go down a path that interests you, because if you don't, like, it's easier to do things you like. That's like the simple way I'll say it. It's easier to do things that you like. So you need to choose topics that will interest you, engage you throughout the year, because law is hard enough as it is. You don't want to make it harder for yourself by doing something that you absolutely hate or absolutely have no passion for. If you're willing to endure that, go ahead, but I'd recommend doing as many topics as you like, and if you have the choice and everything, of course, as many topics as you like as possible. Like number 5, keep up with current events. I should have done this more while I was at uni, but law, so especially particular areas of law like EU and IP are very fast-paced areas of law, so you want to keep up with current events, because that will help you to kind of see the law in action, see the law like in practice and in real life, and have the law more alive around you. And also that can make law more interesting to you, because again, law is hard, can be a bit difficult, can be a little bit boring at times, but if you do things like engage with content outside your lectures and keep up with current events and big things and big changes happening in the law, it could become more interesting. And also keeping up with current events in general, law related or not, is also good to build something called commercial awareness, which is something that a lot of law firms look for when you do applications for vacation schemes, training contracts, whatever it is. Commercial awareness is something that every single law firm looks for. And speaking of firms, that brings me on to my next point. Number 6, attend law fairs and career fairs in general as much as you can and as soon as possible. I, again, did not do this enough, and this is something that I should have really utilized, because law fairs and career fairs are such a good place to network and gain connections with people and gain like good insight into different law firms. And you can just kind of see what there is. You can see that they offer workshops for first years, and then see what they offer for second years. And also, a good thing, my friend told me to say this, is that when you're going to these law fairs and career fairs, kind of look up what questions you should come with, because yes, it's all well and good to go to a law fair or go to a career fair, but it's not going to be useful for you if you don't go with the right questions, or don't go with useful questions that will help you kind of suss out a firm and see what they have to offer. And if you want me to do a video on questions and things to ask along career fairs, I'm very happy to do that, so just comment that down below. But yeah, there's a lot of things, and then again, just see what there is to offer, what the firms have to offer, see like talk to people, just network, and do this from the start. Because as well as the law fairs, there's also career fairs. So again, if you're someone who law wasn't like your first choice or your first thing that you were going to do, the career fairs also show that there's other options as well. So you don't want to limit yourself by not going to these and seeing all your options, because they're really, really useful. Trust me, once I started going to them, the process of me figuring out what I wanted to do after university became a lot easier and a lot clearer, and I felt more clear-minded about it. A work-life balance is possible. I know a lot of people might scare you away from studying law by telling you that it's so busy and like we never have free time and this and that, but it is totally possible. In fact, I think I played and had a life a bit too much when I was at university, but it's definitely a very possible thing to have a work-life balance with uni and with studying law. A friend of mine said that she kind of did a technique, and I recommend this to other people because it worked so effectively for her, and it was to like kind of treat your degree as like a 9 to 5 in a way, and like kind of have just dedicated hours in the day that, okay, at this hours of the day I'm going to do my reading and prepare for my seminars and this, and just having that time and keeping to that time and prioritizing that time and making that time for your degree and just your degree. That will keep you having a schedule, and that will also make sure that you get your work done on time, because then when you have those hours set and you get the work done in those hours, or maybe go a little bit over sometimes, go a bit under sometimes, then you have free time for like the rest of the day. And if you do that consistently during the week, you could also have weekends free. And if you have your weekends free, you can maybe work over the weekend, meet friends, do hobbies, join clubs, be part of societies. And to be honest, even with my university, a lot of people in law were part of the law society, were part of other societies, were actively doing things, and they just weren't law students that had no time. So yes, a work-life balance is totally achievable with the law while doing law. So don't let people scare you off by saying you're just going to be reading and staying in the library at all times. Number 8. This one is kind of a funny one, but if you have the perception that studying law is going to be anything like Suits or How to Get Away with Murder or any of those law student or law type shows, especially if you live in the UK, I think you should just take that thought out of your mind, because I feel like the image we have of law and studying law and practicing law is very Americanized, but also very Hollywoodized, if I can say it for lack of a better term. And studying law is not the most glamorous thing in the world. It can be very rewarding, but it's not the most glamorous thing ever, and it's just not like Suits. So if you're doing law because you watched 3 episodes of Suits or the whole season of How to Get Away with Murder, it's not like that. And frankly, I don't think I'd like it if it was like that, but yeah, it's not like that. And yeah, just spelling that right now. 9, do not be afraid to ask for help. I feel like there's this stigma that law students and law people, like lecturers, seminar tutors, whatever it is, can be very stuck up, nasty, unwilling to help you out, unwilling to, you know, be there for people. But I can't tell you how far from the truth that is. I mean, you might encounter some snobby people here and there, because they're just snobby people in the world, full stop. But I can tell you that I, especially in my last year of uni, really benefited from having connections in my law school, having tutors that I spoke to regularly, having asking questions and things like that. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't isolate yourself. Don't be like, oh, I have to suffer alone. There are lecturers and they probably have office hours, and you can make an appointment to see them in their office hours and, like, you know, really like get to know them, and then they build relationships with you, which are good for just having relationships, but also good for later on in life when you need references for master's programs or references for whatever it is. And if these people know you and have relationships with you, they'll be readily happy to, you know, give you a reference or whatever it is. So make these relationships and make these connections early on. And also with your tutors and your seminar tutors, just make sure you have a good relationship with them constantly. Be the one that has your work done. Be the one asking questions constantly in class. Be the one answering questions in class. Really just engage, because you really do get out of your degree what you put into it. So just make sure you put in the effort and the time into your degree in order to get the most out of it. Number 10, have passion for it. And this can be easier said than done, because as I can speak from a personal experience, I did not want to do law when I went to study law. You know, if you're African or if you're a person of color of any sort, you know, our parents can like usually push us into like a profession that is not necessarily what we want to do. But you can find passion for things, and for me, I wanted to be a writer or an English teacher. Like, that's my thing. I love English, I love language and stuff. But while I was at uni and I was studying law, I was able to do IP, and I'm also into music and media and technology and things like that. So IP really like spoke to me, and I really enjoyed my land module too, and that had a lot to do with property and things like that. So I found things that I was passionate about. And even at the end of the day, this is a secret and nobody will tell you this, you don't even need to do a law degree to be a lawyer. You can do a non-law degree, do a GDL, and then become a lawyer. So just explore your options. Just like, if law is something that wasn't in your mind before, just think about it and see, and look at the options you have and see if you have passion for it. So yeah, so that's like a really big advice I give. It can be hard to stick with something, but if you have passion, it can be easier to like kind of power through it. So just try and have passion, and if you don't have passion for law, find passion for it in one topic or one lecture or one whatever it is. Find passion and let that drive you and move you to do your best and do better. Okay guys, that was all of the tips I had and all of the things I wish I knew before I started studying a law degree. Studying law, like I mentioned at some points throughout this video, is hard, but it can be really rewarding. I'm still waiting on grades, so like I'll tell you how rewarding that is when I get an update. But yeah, so that's it for the video. If you think I forgot something, or if you study law and you have other things that you think would be helpful for people to know before they study law, just drop those in the comment section below. If you have any questions, like I said, I'd be more than happy to make more dedicated videos about questions people have about studying law. And if you have any more of those questions, please put them on my Instagram or comment them down below, and I'll be sure to answer them if I can. So yeah, thank you for joining me with this video today. This is my first video, so I was a bit nervous, but I hope that I communicated well, and I hope that my points got across well to you guys. And if you liked, again, please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll have more content out. Definitely a lot more law related content, but just uni life in general, and also just casual things like hauls, challenges, whatever you guys would like to see. Again, comment down below. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.